Welcome everyone. So today we will be solving a problem on tetrahedron. So what do you mean by a tetrahedron? We have dealt related to this in our concept class also on projection of solids. So as you know, a tetrahedron is somewhat similar to that of our triangular pyramid. In case of triangular pyramid, the base edges will be smaller and the longer edges will be bigger. The slanting edges will be bigger than that to the base edge. But whereas in case of tetrahedron, the base edge as well as the slant edges will be the same, and hence we call this as an tetrahedron. You can notice the side of the base here and the dimension of the slant edges are also the same, and hence the name tetrahedron. So now let us look at the problem. So what is the first part of the problem? It is told that it is a tetrahedron of side 40 mm. So all the sides including the base and the slanting side will be equal to 40 mm. Right? So how it is resting? It is resting on one of its side on HP. So how will the position of the tetrahedron be when it is resting on one of its side? If this is our horizontal plane and vertical plane, you will keep one of the edge towards your right. Okay, so this is a side where you have to keep towards your right. So thumb rule is whenever the given tetrahedron is resting on one of its side, you will keep the side towards your right. So then you will be getting the corner opposite to it towards your left. So this will be the position of the tetrahedron when it is resting on one of its side or the edge. So after fixing the position of the given tetrahedron, so now you will view how the top view looks like. So when you view from the top, you can just see an equilateral triangle, right? You agree? Because all the side will be 40 mm in given problem, and hence when you view from the top, you will just see the true shape of an equilateral triangle of the base of the tetrahedron as our top view. So along with that, you will be seeing the top center O and bottom center of the base will not be visible, so that we will write within the bracket as O1. So this is about the top view. After this, you will view from the front. So when you view from the front, you can see the projection of this edge to our vertical plane, the projection of this corner, and also the projection of the axis. Right? So it will be just like a triangle surface only. So when you view from the front, you will see a triangular surface in our front view with the axis visible. Because when you view from here, you can see the axis from the apex to the center. And hence we will show the axis line also. So and hence a equilateral triangle will be our top view and a triangular surface will be our front view. In case of tetrahedron, because all the sides will be equal, both the base side and the slant edge. As a result, the name tetrahedron. So let us start off with the top view. I told that top view looks like an equilateral triangle. Everyone know how an equilateral triangle looks like. Since it is resting on one of its side, I will keep one of the side or the edge towards our right. So dimension of it should be exactly equal to 40 mm. So I will measure 40 mm using the compass or the scale, and after that equilateral triangle, all interior angle will be equal to 60 degree. Right? You can take 60 degree or you take 40 mm, come here and just cut an arc. And again measure 40 mm, same distance, come here and cut an arc. It will meet at some common point. So you kindly join, right? So remaining construction part you can erase it out later. So now we have constructed an equilateral triangle whose side is equal to 40 mm. So we need to identify the centers. So from the corner to the opposite end, if you join, from the corner to the opposite side, from the corner to the opposite. So from this corner, you will get the center. So this construction line, you can just erase it out later. Right? So I told you when you have a tetrahedron, when you view from top, O will be visible and bottom center O1 will not be visible. And hence you will write O within the bracket and O1, O outside the bracket and O1 within the bracket. So after that kindly do the naming. So this is A, B and C. All the three sides will be visible when you view from the top. So if this is horizontal and vertical plane, when you view from the top, all the three sides will be visible. So we are naming all the three sides. After that we have to take the projection above. So kindly take the projection until XY line first. From the center also, let the projection line be very thin. Okay. And here you have to be careful. They have given the side dimension as 40 mm. It is not the axis height, right? If it was axis height, you need to extend the axis, measure 40 mm and cut an arc. But it is not the true length of the axis given. It is the true length of the side of the tetrahedron. And hence, how do you construct the true length of the side of the tetrahedron? There is a slight change here. So what we do is the axis will be visible. So you will just show a center line first. After showing the center line, you please measure the true length of the tetrahedron given as 40 mm. So you can measure directly from here or measure from the compass. Use 40 mm exactly. Come here, keep at one of the corner here and just cut an arc. Okay, so from here till here you please join. Use scale and join it properly. And similarly from here to here. Okay. So this is how we have to construct, and this will be the true length of the side as 40 mm. Previously we used to measure the dimension of the axis as the vertical height, but in tetrahedron they give you the dimension of the side and not the axis. So we will just extend the projection of the axis line, keeping one end of the compass over here. You will just cut an arc on this axis line. So where it meets, you will get the exact dimension of the side of the tetrahedron. So once this is done, so please give the naming. So when the observer views from here, A will be visible, so this will be our A dash. When the observer view from here, O1 will not be visible, and hence he will write it within the bracket as O1 dash. So when the observer views from here, B and C will be along the same line. B will be visible, C won't be visible. So you will write B dash outside the bracket and C1 dash within the bracket. And O will be visible. So this is our O dash. So this is how we have to construct the first stage, front and the top view in case of tetrahedron. There is a slight change in case of tetrahedron problem because they give the true length of the side and not the axis. Only if this change, if you consider, remaining thing you can do it systematically. So once it is done, always in case of tetrahedron also, first we assume the axis will be perpendicular, then the axis will be inclined to HP, then we take the inclination with respect to VP. So now let us focus on the HP inclination then for the second stage. So what is being told? The base containing the edge is inclined at 30 degree to VP. So which is our base? So this is the base. So this base is inclined to 30 degree to HP. Usually they used to give the axis inclination to HP in each problem varieties, right? But here it is not the axis inclination, it is the base inclination what they have given. So we need to shift the base to 30 degree and not the axis. Be careful. So leave some space. So this is the entire base. So we have to shift the base in this space. So we will fix B dash and C dash at one particular point. So name that as B dash and C dash. After you fix this point B dash and C dash, you now have to tilt the entire base to 30 degree to HP. So for that what we have to do? From this fixed point, you have to take 30 degree. So using protractor, kindly take 30. So this angle will be 30 degree. right? So after you take 30°, then you have to shift this entire base on this 30° line. So you measure this distance from A dash to B dash. What is the distances? Come back over here and just cut an arc. So it cuts an arc here somewhere, right? So this is our point A dash. And then measure from A dash to O1 dash. What is the distances? And make a reference point. So this is our O1 dash right within the bracket. And from there, draw the axis line perpendicular to it. So this is the axis line. Okay. So from the axis length, you have the axis. Now similarly, you will measure this 40 mm. Come here and just cut an arc. Right? So this will be our O dash. So then join A dash to O dash and join O dash to B dash also. So now we have shifted the tetrahedron whose axis was exactly perpendicular to some inclination. We don't know the inclination of the axis. If you extend here back, you can identify what is the angle exactly is. They had given 30° to HP where the base is shifted. So we shifted the base and we didn't took the inclination to axis. So if you extend, you can identify what is the axis inclination if you are interested really. So after that, we have to see how the top view looks. So for that, what we do, please take the projection down from A dash, O1 dash, B1 dash and O dash. After that, kindly extend the projection from top view also, from each and every corner. Then kindly erase the extra lines. So after erasing the extra line, please give the locus. So locus of A is meeting A dash at this point. So this is our A. Locus of B is meeting B dash at this point. So this is our B. Locus of C is meeting C dash at this point. So this is our C. And locus of O1 is meeting O1 dash at this point. So this is our O1. Apart from that, we have locus of O is meeting O dash at this point. So this is our O. And I told you always, irrespective of any inclination, the outer boundary will be visible. Initially, the axis was perpendicular, and now we have shifted the base to some angle such that even the axis is inclined. So when it is inclined, also the outer boundary will be visible. So you will just show the outer boundary in the dark continuous line. So A to B, B to O, C to O and A to C. So this is done. So apart from that, we can see here one of the corner of the base is on XY line. So any projection coming through this point now will be hidden. So I will change this line to be for hidden line pattern. Got it? And you have one more projection from A to O. So we have the axis from O1 to O. O1 to O is the axis line we have to show, but that axis line is overlapped with one of the slant edges. So this slant edge is visible, so we'll just make this darkened. Okay, so this is how the second stage, front and the top view of the tetrahedron looks like when it is resting on one of its edge. So we have covered the second part. So now we have to focus about what is the condition for third stage. So related to VP inclination, they haven't given anything. They have just told the side which was resting on HP is parallel to VP. So which is the side which was resting on HP? So this is the side which is resting on HP. So now the same side is parallel to VP. So the vertical side here now has to be shifted to horizontal way such that the side will be parallel to our vertical plane. But how far it is? That side is 40 mm away from VP. right? So you have to measure 40 mm from XY line. So you kindly measure 40 mm from XY line. So let this be little bit smaller. If this is 40 mm, from there you just draw a locus. Okay? Because the question tells the side which was resting on HP is now parallel to VP. If it has to be parallel to VP, we have to shift the vertical side to parallel to XY line. And they have told it is 40 mm away from XY line. So we will measure 40 mm first, then draw a locus through that 40 mm, and we will shift this side which was resting on HP to VP. So here the true length of the side in first stage and the true length of the side in the second stage is the same. No need of determining the apparent angle. We will directly shift the side to parallel to XY line. Okay, so you just fix some point, name this as C, measure from C to B what is the distances, make a reference. So you got now the side parallel to XY line. That shows that the side is now parallel to our VP plane, but this side is hidden. So I will change this to an hidden line. So remaining part we have to construct. So now which was vertical is now shifted to horizontal position. Right? So from you can identify, so now you got the side, identify the midpoint of it. Measure the distance, how much it is, just make a reference point. So from that reference point, just draw a perpendicular line. Extend perpendicular line. So from this midpoint to A, what is the distance you measured? And cut an arc. So this will be our A. So from this midpoint to O, what is the distance you please measure and cut an arc? We'll get the point O. So what else we need? The center O1. So from A to O1, what is the distance you measured? And name it as O1. Right? So now we have to join all the sides of the tetrahedron. So please join from O to B, O to C, C to A, and B to A. So this is how the top view looks like in the third stage when the side is parallel to VP. The side which was resting on HP, the same side is now parallel to VP. So we have shifted this in this way. So once this is done, we have to take the projection above. So kindly take the projection from B, from O, from C, extend the projection from O dash, A dash, O1 dash, and B dash and C dash is along the XY line only. So the locus of C is meeting C dash at this point. So this is our C dash. Locus of B is meeting B dash at this point. So this is our B dash. Locus of O is meeting, locus of O1 is meeting O1 dash at this point. So this is our O1 dash. And again, locus of A is meeting, so this is A. A is meeting A dash at this point. So this is our A dash. So what else is needed? The locus of O. So locus of O is meeting O dash at this point. So this is our O dash. So we have named all the namings of the given tetrahedron. And I told you the outer boundary will be always visible. So please join the outer boundary. C dash to B dash. O dash to B dash. O dash to C dash. So please draw it properly. Okay. And then we have to join from C dash to A dash also. And A dash to B dash. So this is how the final view of the front view and the top view looks like in case of a tetrahedral problem which is resting on one of its edge. So only the difference here is the true length of the side you have to measure, not the axis. and here instead of giving axis inclination, the base will be shifted, right? And in the third stage, it is a problem on side inclination and not the axis inclination. So since it is the side inclination parallel to BP, we will shift the vertical side parallel to our XY line. If it was told axis inclination, then we would have determined the apparent angle and then reconstruct the top and the front view of the last stage. Thank you.